Hey, Nicki Sanders here with Nicki Sanders Leadership Consulting. Welcome to the More Than Social Work with Nicki Sanders YouTube channel. Thanks for joining me. Today, I'm going to start this video with something that is very authentically me as a workshop facilitator. It is an icebreaker, 2 truths and a lie. So I've done this with young people, I've done this with adults, and today we're going to do it together. So I'm going to give you 3 options. You're going to decide which 2 of them are true and which one of them is the lie. So the first one is that I fell at work and ended up in urgent care. The second is I went nearly 2 years without taking any vacation. Number 3 is I applied for one job out of graduate school after I got my MSW and I was hired for that job. Which one do you think is the lie? The lie is that I went nearly 2 years without taking vacation. I am definitely going to take vacation, but I did fall at work. In truth, I fell at work twice at one place and ended up in urgent care both times. And the other, I got hurt at work and I ended up in physical therapy. Yeah, that's true. The second is I applied for one job after I got my master's degree and I was hired for that one job, which was my dream job. So I had the dream job, right? I loved the work. We were making meaningful impact. I had the professional respect, but you know what else I had? I had a foundation of self-sacrifice. I had built my success on a foundation of self-sacrifice. And it was a pattern. It was not just one place. It was a pattern of behavior, because my other truth is I've never left a job and not heard back from someone, whether it was the person who replaced me or it was the people who were still there covering the work, where they didn't say something to the effect of, I didn't realize Nicki was doing all these things, or I don't know how Nicki was juggling all of this. I have no idea how Nicki was making these things happen and made it look easy. You know how? Because I had built my foundation of success on self-sacrifice. I was at the bottom of my priority list. I was at the bottom of my priority list. So think about that for a second. What are some patterns that you're willing to admit to yourself that you have? And where are you right now on your priority list? Because I have flipped it from being at the bottom of my priority list to now I am at the top of my priority list. But that was also a process that I had to go through after completely losing myself, losing my identity to success and to work. So if that sounds like you, I want you to keep watching. I was overcommitted. I was overfunctioning. I was overwhelmed. And you know what I did? I just kept going. I kept taking on new things. I kept taking on new work. I kept supporting other people. I kept holding space for other people. I was overcommitted. I was overfunctioning. I was overwhelmed. And I just kept doing it and doing it and going and going and going, just like the Energizer Bunny. So when I say to you that I am at the top of my priority list and you can do it too, it is because it was a process that I had to go through. And I know for sure that it is possible. It's going to take some work, but it is possible. So I started off the beginning of this year really saying, like, every woman that I knew, whether she was a stay-at-home parent and working at home, because working at home is a job, or if she was working outside of the home, it didn't matter if they were baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, they were all exhausted. Like, there was this collective exhaustion in the air. And unfortunately, it has gotten worse. And so because I am still seeing it over and over and over again, now I'm saying loudly, enough is enough. You've sacrificed enough. You've given enough. You've denied yourself enough. We have to stop. So we as leaders have to lead from a place of wholeness. We as leaders have to be the example of what sustainable, soft success looks like. Now let's talk about this word soft, right? Because I will say over and over, softness is not weakness. Soft is strong. Softness is a strength. I believe that the softness that I'm talking about, the softness that the women in my circle are talking about, is not the idea of softness where I don't want to do anything. I just want to sit back, do nothing, and have someone take care of me. Like Prince Charming comes in and swoops and I do absolutely nothing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about softness as in being transparent and vulnerable and not having to pretend and hide and show up tough all the time. I'm talking about soft as in relaxed, soft as in calm, soft as in peaceful, not doing and doing and going and going. Soft as in I can slow down and ease into my morning because I understand that everything is not a crisis and I'm no longer in survival mode. I'm talking about the kind of soft that allows you to take a walk in the woods, right? The kind of soft that allows you to lay out on the beach. The kind of soft that allows you to look at your calendar and say, I'm not going to schedule that today because I already have these things here. And I don't want to cram everything into today just so I can take 3 days off this weekend, because that's not helpful either. If you overwork for 3, 4, 5 days so you can take 7 days off, right? That didn't help you at all. I'm talking about slowness where we can pause and slow down. We're not rushing and hurried. I'm talking about softness as in I get to be who I am authentically before the world put labels on me, before society said I have to perform a certain way, before I had to go out into the world and prove myself. So oftentimes we hear a lot of professional speakers, teachers, coaches who say, my report card always said, she does great, but she talks a lot, or she talks too much, or she's disruptive. And my report card was the opposite, right? You are listening to me talk now. I am a teacher, trainer, speaker, but I was voted most quiet, right? Because I was like, I don't have to talk just to talk, right? Like, why do I have to talk just to talk? So I was voted quietest in high school, our superlatives as a senior. I have always been quiet, right? Not shy, but quiet because I didn't feel the need to prove myself. So this is a part of my personality that I was ignoring. This is part of who I am authentically that I was ignoring because I was producing, right? Productivity, efficiency, effectiveness. So in the workplace, I was doing the opposite of who I am, my identity. So I have always been attracted to barns and farms and the Amish culture because it was a slower pace and a slower life. I wanted to get out of the city and be in the country where things move slower, even as a little girl, right? So what are the patterns that you have ignored from your childhood where that shows your identity, your true authentic identity, who you are, who you were before society told you who you needed to be? And what are the patterns right now that you have been ignoring that may have put you at the bottom of your priority list? So those are two different things that I want you to think about because both of them are important if we're going to move beyond burnout. We're going to move beyond loss of identity. We're going to move beyond brokenness and feeling like you're not yourself. We're going to move beyond this disconnection into liberation. There's some inner work, right, that we have to do in order to do that, because the truth is changing jobs is not going to fix the problem if you don't change yourself, because you're going to take you with you to the next job. So there's some inner work that we have to do in order to move into what I call the soft life, soft success, soft leadership, sustainable success. And there are pros and cons if you kind of Google soft leadership online. But for me, soft leadership is people first. And you are one of those first people at the top of your priority list. We are honoring our humanity. We are honoring our needs and desires, and we are getting work done based on our assets, our strengths, our normal productivity schedule, right? Like I'm much more productive first thing in the morning. So I'm going to get those important things done in the morning, and then my afternoon, maybe some of those tasks that don't require as much brain power. Some people operate completely opposite to that. But again, we're honoring our authenticity, our identities, and who we are as human beings. We are reconnecting with ourselves through soft leadership. So I'm going to read this to you because these sentences are important. I wrote them, and I don't want to paraphrase, right? I want you to have it just the way I wrote it. So one is that soft leadership isn't about stepping back, it's about stepping fully into yourself. Remember that. Soft leadership isn't about stepping back and doing nothing, it's about stepping fully into who you are, because bad managers can also be hands off, right? Bad managers can be like, you figure it out, you do it. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about stepping fully into who you are as part of your soft leadership journey. Number two is soft leadership is about building influence without burnout. You can do great work and have influence by showing up exactly as who you are and working in a way that honors your capacity. You don't have to burn out, because that person that's burned out is not the real you anyway. But when you are being who you are authentically, you attract the people to you that are meant for you. The people that know you, see you, want to support you, they are going to be attracted to the authentic you. So be who you are, and that influence comes without you having to burn yourself out. And then the third is soft leadership is about thriving in your leadership without ignoring your well-being. Yes, take the mental health day. Yes, take the spa day. Yes, take your paid time off. Yes, eat lunch outside, not at your desk. Yes, go to home when it's time for you to get off work. Of course, yes to all of those things, but more importantly, honor your well-being. Put yourself at the top of your priority list, because you can't help anybody if you can no longer help yourself. Remember that. You can't pour from an empty cup. You have to prioritize you. And so that soft life, that soft leadership, that soft sustainable success is exactly what most of us need. So it's not even optional. That's what I want to say. It's no longer optional. So if any of this resonates with you and you are ready to go on this soft leadership, soft success journey, I invite you to connect with me here, leave a comment, or schedule your 20-minute consultation, and let's rewrite your journey. It's possible for you. Slow, soft. Remember we said slow and steady wins the race? Slow and steady wins the race. Soft, sustainable success. See you next video. Bye.